Hey guys, welcome to our first episode of Fstop Live with Godox SA, hosted by me, Sherwin. So with Fstop Live, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be hosting a few guests, and this is going to be something that's going to be done on a weekly basis. We're looking, in fact, I'm also looking at photographers who are changing the trends, who are leading the trends, photographers that are out there, that are go-getters, that are looking to show the world or to show South Africa what they're capable of doing. And to start it off, the first guest that I wanted to have was a gentleman by the name of Karl Daniels. He goes as KJD photography, and he's got some amazing work that obviously I'd like for our South African photography community to see. So we're gonna start by getting him in on, and as I said, so you gotta stay tuned. If you are watching, just drop a comment. Let me know that you're watching. We're gonna start shortly, and start by introducing Karl. Okay, guys, say hello to Karl.
How's it all?
Hey, Karl, how are you doing?
Good, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me
Having
on.
having a relaxed afternoon, I must say.
Yeah, that's it.
I think the best part about the fact that we watch we're able to speak right now is the fact that we have electricity. So let's be grateful
Yes,
for that.
that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. At least there's electricity. So in fact, we just came off load shedding um, about about maybe just over an hour ago. We just came off load shedding. So that's something that you need to respect now as a South African, eh? Load shedding.
Yeah,
How did we get
it
there?
throws a whole new dynamic.
Anyway, it's something that obviously we need to maybe work towards getting out of, and I think maybe even as the photography community, if we unite, then we can get our voice out there and get the people up there to listen, I would say. But Carl,
Oh,
thank you so much for joining. I know I reached out to you a few weeks ago, and I offered you the opportunity to join me on Fstop Live, and you were willing and you were quick to say yes. Let's get it done. Uh, so I'm actually grateful that you are able to join us today. I know there's a wealth of knowledge that you can share with us. But yeah, thank you for joining us.
it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So Carl, just a quick one.
Mm.
Are you a Liverpool supporter, a Manchester United supporter, Manchester
Well,
City supporter? Do you watch
I was
football?
I was born in the UK. I was born in Swindon, so I mean we normally support our home teams.
So who do you support?
Uh, I suppose I'll still go back to my local team. I suppose it's Bath in rugby and Swindon Town Football Club in football.
Swindon. Okay, okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. Because I was just checking if you were a United supporter, I was just gonna cut the live
Cut
short,
the
and
stream.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No prejudice here. No prejudice here. If you are tuning in, guys, just drop a comment in the comment section, just so we can know that you're here. Okay. So, Carl, just the first question that I have for you: why photography? It's just two words, and
Yeah,
it's just to get a feel for why you do what you do.
I think it's a way of expressing creativity. I've always been sort of very creative, artistic wise, art and that type of thing. I think photography is a nice outlet for actually doing that. I've normally run with a couple of projects that I like to do to actually get it out around the globe. I did a project which was standing against human trafficking, and we did a project like that. It was a very creative project, and the images were used all over the world on pamphlets, websites, you name it. So I think from that side of things, just to be creative and show that photography is a real art, and that's what I
Mm,
enjoy about it.
awesome. How long ago did you start doing photography?
I've always been taking photos, but half the time when we used to come back and as a family and look at the pictures and they say, "What did you take a picture of?" And I said, "Oh, well, I think it was an animal that was moving in the field type sort of thing." So I mean, taking pictures is one thing. I think photography I actually started back in 2009. That's when I started getting money for it.
Mm.
Started off in the sports photography, doing trackside racing, rallies, that type of thing. Then moved into cricket. I was had my accreditation with Cricket South Africa. And then from that side of things, I started then messing around in studio. I borrowed some studio lights from a buddy, and
Yeah.
so this was fun. So yeah, it just took off. So
No, that's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. Even to hear the projects that you're saying that you're working on, I believe if you can't allow what you do to make some sort of change in the communities around you, then I feel like you're wasting your time.
yeah,
So to even hear that you were busy with obviously projects like, against human traffic and all that, it's amazing. That's some
mm,
big stuff, and obviously some
yeah,
awareness that needs to get out there. We
yeah.
got quite a few people that's following along. Thank you guys. I see we've got someone from Four Ways as well, someone from PE.
Uh,
If you're watching us, just drop your name in the comment section, and just let us know where you're watching from. It's nice to see where you guys are from. Um, okay, so Carl, I asked you why photography, and I've asked you how long you've been doing it. A good
mm.
question is what type. Maybe you can tell the people what genre of photography you do.
It's mainly portraiture at the moment. People photography and stuff. I do product photography as well. I mean, you saw some of the Godox lights that I took, and I like to keep the lighting very simple. Um, but yeah, it's mainly portraiture, studio work, location, portraiture, that type of stuff.
That's nice, nice. I've seen some of your portraits, and I think that's also one of the things that have gotten my attention about you. You understand lighting, you understand
Mm,
how to light your subjects, and you have a way of editing as well. But as I said, the main thing is to obviously get you out there, let people to see who's the person behind the brand, and obviously your love for Godox SA, of which I've seen that
mm.
time and time again. Um, that's actually awesome to hear. I also like photography. In fact, I think when I first started off, I started off as a photographer that was trying to obviously shoot as much as I could shoot. I was shooting everything basically. I was doing events. I was doing trying to do product photography. I was trying to do car photography, and I was trying to do portraiture. And then I took some time before I could get to weddings, and I started doing weddings, and it came right back down to portraiture and wedding photography for me. So
Mm.
I
Yeah,
love portraiture.
I think wedding photography you have to have a very special patience. I've done a few, and I tell you, it was really testing.
No, in fact, it is. I know wedding photography is not for that's not for
Mm,
everybody.
mm,
I think especially with the fact that you're dealing with people, and you're dealing with people in very tense situations.
mm.
It's not something that's easy. So you have to be someone that's willing to work with it. And I think maybe because I'm an extrovert, so I find it much easier to relate with people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I love wedding photography. Love it, absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do photography full time?
Yes, I do. It's uh, it's it's something that was sort of I had to go into, and I'm just gonna stick with it and push through whatever we need to push through on it.
Oh, and in fact, that's amazing to hear because I find so many people asking the question of 2023, and is it sustainable to do photography or as you do portrait photography? Is it sustainable in 2023?
Look, I think any type of business can be sustainable. I think prior the COVID issues, where we had that whole 2 years of total sort of downtime, I think a lot of people were hit with that one. So it's almost like rebuilding. 2023, I think, is a whole year of rebuilding, and I think that's I think everyone's almost having to start off again in a lot of that area. Like myself, I had contracts before that fell away, so
Mm.
it's a very difficult thing to start up again, but it is sustainable. I think you've also got to keep yourself fresh. Always not, don't close yourself off. Always willing to learn. I mean, Godox have got amazing ambassadors that actually do amazing videos, which you can follow and learn new tricks, new styles, new. So it's always to keep learning. And I think just find that niche and find that style that you've got, and people will support that.
I think another thing that people also need to understand with photography, um, it can be a pastime. It can be a
Mm,
beautiful pastime, and it can be something that you can really enjoy as a pastime. But if you look at doing photography as a business, I find it's something that's challenging. Number one, but
mm,
most importantly, it's something that you need to understand. If you're going to be running photography as a business, you need to understand the aspects that go about a business. So it's not just about how talented of a photographer you are.
mm.
It's not
Yeah.
just about how amazing your pictures are, because believe me, your pictures can be amazing, your pictures can be beautiful. But if
Mm,
it's not reaching out to the consumer that you want to obviously reach, and if you're not taking the necessary measures or putting the necessary measures in place to reach out to to those customers and those consumers, you'll never sell your pictures to anyone, or you'll never sell your
mm,
services to anyone. So it's very
yeah.
important, obviously, for those who want to take photography and go into it full time as a business, to understand that there's business principles that go behind the photography. Yes, as you said, and it's a very good point. You have to stay fresh, you have to stay
Mm,
relevant, you must understand the times, the seasons for everything,
yeah.
and in understanding, obviously, the photography aspect of how your images are supposed to be looking good, and you make sure that you're on top of your game, you need to back it up firmly with the business and good business principles.
Yeah.
That's something that I learned the very hard way. I learned it the very hard way, but I'm glad that obviously a few years in now, I have actually made a bit of a success of myself.
Mm. Well, that's good. No.
Yeah, no, I know you find so many people that find it. They say that it's not sustainable in 2023, and I've noticed, if anything, over the past 2 years, say between 2020 and the end of 2022, business was very quiet. However, I have noticed a boom. There has been a boom since January of this year, and in fact, the boom for me was really from November of last year, and it's actually gone out quite fast. So, um, in fact, I think my most successful period in all of my time doing photography was November last year, and going on to obviously January this year as well. So we understand that
Mm,
there's a peak in the market, and you try your best to get yourself in front of that wave.
yeah.
So,
Well, look,
as you said again.
I find that they're starting to pick up currently now. I think I've got bookings in March coming in. So, and I think it's a good thing to actually start seeing people wanting to invest into small businesses throughout the country as well.
No, definitely. Also, viewers, please, you are welcome to ask us questions in the comment
Mhm.
section. We will actually get to it. So what I'll do is I'll leave the questions for the end of the session between myself and Carl, with Carl's experience and his years of experience in photography. Both of us will be able to try our best to answer those questions. So please don't feel shy. Drop the like, share the live stream, and drop us a comment. Let us know what you would like to know from either of us, and we'll answer it for you. So Carl, I did see in some of your pictures you've photographed some really famous people, eh? Who's the most famous? Who's the most famous person that you've photographed? You
Well,
mentioned one recent. You mentioned one recently to me. It was for Valentine's Day, I think it was. But
yes.
let's who's the most famous person that you photographed?
Um, well, I've actually photographed the late AKA,
Oh,
obviously the late Riva, Kanye and Bao,
mm,
Pearl Tusi. Um, who else was it? There's a couple there. Deleuze. I actually took some pics of Deleuze.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So that was all pre-COVID, but we'll get back there. No,
Let's get some
just
famous people in 2023 now. So post COVID, let's get some some famous people. No, that's awesome. No, another good point that I wanted to ask, and this is something that I noticed for a while now. I noticed your posts, and you're always posting about Godox. Why? Why Godox? Why did you choose Godox?
it's just made my life a lot easier. Obviously, support-wise in this country, um, I think within the market there's a very sort of a lack of support because it's either an overseas brand or product, and the
Yeah.
support is just not there. At least Godox is here in South Africa. Um, you type up an email, drop it off to them, and they've answered you back within the hour. I mean, it's great, and I think also when I did look into it, Godox also had this platform where they had the ambassadors showing
Mm,
the product um, in a real life situation. I mean, I love also watching Craig stuff. Is down simple sort of setup.
mm.
Images are amazing, and literally using um, just a standard Godox brand that anyone can shoot with. So it's really, and it's easy to use, and that's what I like
They
about
are,
it.
they are quite easy to use, eh? They are quite
Yeah,
easy to use. What's your
yeah.
favorite product? What's your favorite Godox product?
Well, I like my AD400s, obviously for the flash durations and stuff that I do in studio. But I think I
Mm,
use my AD300s a lot for going out as well as in studio and stuff. So I think they are the most used lights,
yeah.
which I've got two of those, which they are amazing, and they're powerful for the little package it is. It's quite a robust, powerful unit. So,
Mm.
but you're welcome to give me an AD600 if it's my birthday in March. I could try that out, and maybe that'll become my new favorite one.
I promise you. I promise you. I think my move to the 8600, of which a friend of mine actually helped me there with it. I started off with the 8200. In fact, I started off with it was the TT685. I remember I did a shoot with it, and the shoot did really. It was like really well. And then from there, I went to the 8200. From the 8200, I shot a lot with the 8200, and I really, I think I would say I really pushed it to its max, and then from there I jumped to the 8600. And my word, whew, yes, once you shoot to the 8600, there's no going back.
Yeah.
There's just no going. You can't change it. You can't like anything else like backwards. I think maybe next I would have to go up to the 801200. Maybe for that to obviously supersede the also succeed the 8600. But yeah, the 8600 is too nice. Yeah, and also the support, as you were saying, from Godox SA. I've noticed the support from the get go. It's just been amazing. So, like even earlier this weekend, I looked at, obviously there's a campaign that's coming up, and with this campaign that's coming up, I wanted to get. I think you saw the UB1. It's the umbrella, the UB165W, and I quickly just sent an email, reached out, said this is what I wanted, and it was done. Literally the next day, it was delivered to me, and to get that kind of support, that kind of support from Godox is impossible to get it from any other brands. Apart from the fact that we've got a team of ambassadors and obviously influencers that I can guarantee you right now, I can put a bet on it. You can contact any one of those guys and ladies. You can contact any one of the team and ask them a question, or even ask them for a recommendation, or you may even ask them, hey, like, what is the best lighting to go for a certain setup, and any one of those guys, any one of those team members will be quick to help you and go out of their way to show you obviously which is the best direction to go. And there's nothing else in the market. There's no other brand on the market that offers that. So that was one of the reasons I jumped straight to Godox SA, and I was actually happy, and I don't think I'll ever leave them. I'm more than happy with this brand. Just a quick shout out to just a quick shout out. There's someone that's watching. He's in the comments over here. Steve Castings. Shout out to the legend Steve Castings. It's actually because of Steve that I can talk to you today on this platform. I can host this live. If it wasn't for Steve giving me the chance, I wouldn't be here today. So, Steve, thank you so much. We miss seeing your pictures all over, but we know you're here. We know if we see you here. Thank you so much. Just another question, and before I start, I know there's quite a few of your pictures that I want to go through quickly, and I'd like people to see your images and the setups that you've done, obviously, on how you lit up your subjects and what was your thought process in shooting those images. But asked you what was your favorite product. You told me that already, and your quick, just a quick one, your favorite lighting setup before we go to your images.
Well, I tend to do a lot of the camshell tight setup, or I'm very much on a single light sort of loop or Rembrandt type sort of setup in studio. So that's the sort of three I work with, and it's normally a one, two, or maybe a 3 light setup at most that I sort of go for.
Yeah, so we're looking at a 2 to 3, and then you obviously, for me, I think one of the lighting setups that I abuse is the Rembrandt. I love Rembrandt. Like, I literally, once I go for the triangle, I'm in for the kill, and I'm happy with the images. Literally, just go for the triangle, in for the kill, and done and dusted. I'm just going to put up a question quickly over here by Kevin Noble. He asked you a question, Karl. There's a chat. Okay.
Do you feel the international market versus the local market is helping making? Well, the international market is massive. I watch a lot of international photographers and some of the stuff that they do. So I sort of learn a lot from there. So I think it's definitely helps photographers actually find their little niche or in the market to actually go into full-time photography. I mean, at one stage I was also working and in photography, and it's not easy because it's if you've got a 10-12 hour day, you don't feel like picking up a camera at the end of the day. So I think studying with those and watching those guys internationally, I think it can only improve our local market and the way that we actually find our styles.
I think that's actually a very good question, how the international market affects, or how is it helpful towards our market? And I think on my end, I'm tending to look at it very differently these days. The international market is amazing. You've got some of the big guys up there that are filtering down so much of their information to the guys down here, and I feel for some reason now we need to get up there. As a brand, as a people, as a community, as photographers, I think we've got more than enough talent in South Africa. We've got some amazing photographers, of which viewers, if you do stay tuned, I promise you, in the weeks to come, I am going to introduce you to some of these guys that are absolutely talented. They're some of the best fashion photographers. They're some of the best wedding photographers, product photographers that I'm going to put on this platform. And I want the South African photography community to see them in all of their glory for who they are. And I think it's time that we get up there. So, as much as we must be talking about these international photographers, I
Mm.
want the international photographers to be talking about us as an international community that has now ventured and allowed the South African community to be a part of it. So I think it's possible for us to do that. There's plenty of natural talent that we have here. Before we go on to your pictures, I've got a question here by Steve Costings. If you can answer that quickly, he's just checking your preference quickly.
I prefer studio. I do enjoy outdoor, but I actually prefer doing studio work.
You prefer studio. In fact, I prefer outdoor purely because of the whole creativity of it. For me, like I can get really creative really fast when I'm
Mm.
outdoors. But I think I'm also enjoying the studio shoots these days. I see some of my studio work is featured in some of these magazines and stuff like that. So I think I'm actually going to lean a little bit more towards the studio shoots, as you can see with my recent gift that I received, the UB165W umbrella. So that can
Yeah.
only be used in studio. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not as skilled enough as Steve Costings to use it out on on location and have that fly
We
away.
we can see you doing a Mary Poppins on
Exactly. I'll
Umhlanga's
be
beach.
holding an umbrella and I'll be flying now. I can't. I'm not going to try that. So I will be doing more studio photography with obviously that. Okay, so let us get quickly onto some of these pictures that we have of yours. I'm just going to add that to the stream there. This is a stunning image that you took. I see the model you did the whole Rembrandt lighting here, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell
Yeah.
me more about the shot and the way you set it up?
So obviously it was just the single light. It was actually set up on a grey background, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously the light fall off, and I just wanted to actually. This was actually from a set of images that I did to actually update some of my portfolio work.
Yeah.
She's a very good friend of mine, so she's always available to update my portfolio work, as you can probably see in some of the images there. um,
I think by now you should actually make a brand ambassador of yours. I've seen
yeah,
she's done quite a bit of work with you, and she looks amazing. She looks amazing, and I'm gonna show the guys that just now, and obviously when they look into those
oh,
images. But this is a stunning
no,
shot that you took.
yeah,
What light
no,
did you use? What light did you use
this
here?
this was the 300. So that was
8300.
the three. Yep, that was 8300, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the um, I think it was one of the rectangular soft boxes. I think it was the 9x6 or 7 by Godox softbox. Can't remember. I got so many of these soft boxes in the studio. But yeah, it was a rectangular softbox just off to the side, and yeah, I was quite happy with these images.
No, this is stunning. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next one. Ah, this is something that has actually caught my attention about you, and I was like, wow, this guy loves Godox. I have to interview him.
Yeah, so
I've got quite a bit of lighting, and I didn't take any pictures of them as yet, so I think I need to do some pictures of them. This is
yeah,
stunning.
I think it's cool just to take some of the stuff that you've got around in the studio and practice doing product photography. So this was a 3 light setup
Mm.
with a reflector as well, with a small reflector, and there was two 8300s and a 400, and then obviously the 400 was the model. So yeah, it was. But it
I
was,
think I need to speak to the guys over at Godox SA. They need to use this image when they're marketing the Godox 8400 Pro next. This is a stunning shot. It was a stunning shot. As I said, it was one that caught my attention. Okay, I'm just gonna move on to this one. This is nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this one also was just for portfolio update, and literally, I think it wasn't after too long after I shot this. I think I watched one of Craig's videos, which he also did something with a homemade sort of gobo, and then he also had a blind, I think, and also using an AD300 Pros. Just the one light, and then there was a piece of foam board at the back just to highlight where the tattoo was behind it. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. This is absolutely stunning. So you put the light. Obviously, the lighting is on the outside of the window there, right?
yeah, yeah. So basically, the light was set up quite high, and then pointed
Mm.
down, and it was probably about a 1.2 meters away, roughly. Um, Also, not very high power, but yeah, and just the foam board right behind her actually just helped to put that
To give
fill
you
in.
that
Yeah.
nice, just to fill up that light behind her,
Mm,
and that's nice. That's an important detail to get there.
mm.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go over to the next one. Product photography. Ooh, look at this.
Yeah, so this was something that I've always wanted to have a bash at. Um,
Mm.
Obviously, with the important one on here is the actual gradients around the actual bottle. Sometimes they can be a bit too hard, but with this shot, I actually did a cutout of the actual bottle with a black card behind, and literally
Okay.
had a softbox behind. So literally the card was about 15 centimeters all around the bottle. So I actually
Okay.
wrapped the light around and gave it that nice gradient. And then you just
Nice.
filling me your black.
So you got that softbox. So you got that softbox as close as possible,
Yeah,
and then obviously have that blank out in the shape of the
yeah,
bottle.
yeah,
Wow. So you can actually, so literally you hugged the bottle with light. You wrapped it with
yeah,
light. That's
yeah.
absolutely. Viewers, if there's any questions that you want to ask, please just drop us a comment, and we'll answer it for you as we're going along here. Okay, let's move to the next call. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was done with the ADS 85S softbox. Literally, the light was more or less right up in front, sort of direct on, um, and then just a small touch of light behind on the grey background. Pretty
No,
straightforward.
stunning.
It's trying to keep lighting. As soon as we try and get too complex with lighting, that's when it doesn't come out so nice. That's what I've found.
I agree with you 110%. Less is more. Less is
Yeah.
more. I think with most of the, like, especially with portraiture, with most of the kind of results that you'd like to get, you can do it with the one light setup. You can do it with the one light setup and get some fill in, obviously, from the opposite
Mm,
ends. Depending on if you're doing it outdoor, you can actually use ambient light, available
yeah.
light to complement your strobes and your lighting. So less is more. That's something
Mm.
I've learned. Less is more. So, like, like even in this case, this is absolutely stunning. Okay, I'm gonna shift over to the next one from the same shoot, assuming.
From the same shoot. I think
Right.
then what I did obviously with the on this one there was a bit of a rim light from two strip boxes. The
Mm.
8300s were behind, and then the 400 is the main light.
Nice, nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Close up.
So yeah, so this is the typical sort of clam lighting used. Um, Beauty dish on top, I think it was, and a strip box underneath. So
Can you tell our viewers what is the telltale sign of clam lighting?
Well, if you check right inside the eyes, you'll see that nice little
It's
top
there.
and bottom. Yeah.
I'm just gonna zoom in there, right? I'm just gonna zoom into. Just give me a second, just to show our viewers here, all right? Okay, so as Carl was just saying now, if you look, if you look right here at the eye, the underside of the eye, you can see the reflection. You can see the catch light that
Mm.
he's got so well there, and then obviously the lighting that's coming in from the top of the eye, just getting caught underneath on the our right eyelid. So that's the telltale sign of clamshell lighting. And the beautiful thing about clamshell lighting as well is you get the forehead lit up quite nice. You get
Mm.
the main
The
part of your
nose.
the nose lit up quite nice, and you actually get like if you do get any shadow, it's very light and faint,
Mm.
but under the lip, under the nostril, under the eyebrows, the eyelid section, under the chin, you get a little, and if you get your reflector just right, you actually get to cut that off a little, and it's a very beautiful style of lighting.
Mm.
And this is stunning, I must say. Carl, this is stunning. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. This is stunning.
Yeah.
Also clamshell. I
Also,
can see that.
also clamshell. Literally had the bottom one just slightly lower in power, so there's a bit more shadow underneath, as you can see. And then the background, I used an 8300 with the blue gel on it, just to light up the white background with a bit of color.
Oh. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. This is nice. How
Yeah.
many
So
lights did
this
you?
okay. This was one. It was an
Oh,
8400. On basically just off to the back of the actual water tray, and it lit up nicely, obviously with the reflection and stuff from the water and everything. It was cool. So and it was like I did a couple of shots, and that was about the best I had on this one.
no, this is stunning as well. One of my favorites. I think this is one of my favorites. My favorite will be coming up shortly. What was your
Yeah.
thought process when you planned this shoot? I'd like to hear this.
Well, this was a shoot that was leading up to Comic Con Africa, because they were coming back after COVID. So literally, we just organized the Wonder Woman outfit and said, right, let's do a set of images that we can push out there, and actually led to me getting accreditation for Comic Con. So I actually then went
Nice.
through there and covered 4 days at Comic Con Africa. So yeah.
Wow, look at that, eh? And that's just from you planning a shoot to get something done for
Yeah.
something that you love.
But like you said,
This is
you got to look at the seasons and the trends and see what's happening, and just sort of shoot those type of ideas out and get them out there.
just to go on record. This is also clamshell lighting.
Yeah.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. And here's my favorite, the coup de
Okay.
grace.
So this one wasn't clamshell, and it wasn't in the middle of Mars or wherever this background is from, but
Yeah.
literally this was light from the top, just to sort of light from the head down to the body. Um, the sword and the shield wasn't actually in studio; they were added on afterwards. So yeah,
Serious. Wow. That's stunning. That's stunning.
so I couldn't. We
Especially
couldn't seem.
with the sword and how she's holding it. That was done
Yeah,
well. Did you give
yeah.
her a
So
prop maybe?
no, so on previous shoots we've used pieces of irrigation pipe or something, but this one she was very good and held the hand open. I just made sure there was enough room for me to do the post processing afterwards. But
Just to get that sword in. Wow, this
yeah,
is absolutely stunning. No, man, this is really nice. Yeah. So we did get a chance to speak today. I'm glad, obviously, we're able to discuss the amount of time that you've been in photography, your love for Godox SA, the brand itself, and obviously the equipment that you're using. I'm sure you're enjoying it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't change it. That's it. I'm sold out on Godox product.
So you sold out on Godox. Yeah, definitely. That we just need to get the Godox 8600 BM to you. We need to get you to use that, and then it's done. Then there's no going back. There's no going back. Maybe even the 8600 Pro. That would be
Yeah.
nice. But Carl, thank you so much for joining us. As I said, I really appreciate it. If there are any questions that the viewers would like to ask before I close up, um, please ask it in the comments now. I will give you some time before we can answer that quickly. So I'm going to give you
Okay.
2 minutes quickly. Just drop your questions in the comments, and I'll answer them. Carl will answer them. If there's anything that you'd like for Carl to answer, you can ask him directly here. But yeah, Carl, thank you so much for joining along on the first episode of Fstop Live with Godox SA and myself as the host. It's definitely going to be something that I'm going to be doing more often. As I said, I'd like to do it obviously on a weekly basis and give other photographers a chance to get out there, get people to notice them, get people to see them on this platform.
Yeah.
Um, last question I'm going to ask you, Carl, before we close up.
Okay.
If there's anything that you would like to change in the industry, what would you like to change?
This was a question number. Hey.
Uh,
Um,
I, I I have to pick your brain. That's why I left it for last. I left it for last.
I think the number of years that I have been in photography, I think one of the things I've always wanted to see more in the industry, which is at least beginning to happen, is photographers not being protective of patch. Sort of they were very closed up in the old days where no one shared anything, and I think with social media and like the Godox platform, I think it's a good thing that photographers are beginning to sort of speak, share, and stuff. So that to me is one of the positives. What I would like to change in the industry now, uh, more money would be great. Yeah,
That's a
it's a
good
bit
one.
of a
That's a
tough
good
one.
point. No, I think that's a good point. And at least no more money, we can buy more Godox gear. So
Yeah,
it's a win. It's a win-win for me. But Carl, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Wishing you all the best. You know that if you need any assistance from the Godox SA team, we're just a shout away.
yep.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having us. Me.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.
Okay, guys, thank you for joining the first episode of Fstop Live. As I said, if there was any questions that you wanted to ask, you could have asked me. There's definitely going to be some really awesome photographers lined up. They're gonna be it's gonna be on a weekly basis or so, maybe every second week or so. We're just ironing out the details over at Godox SA, and once that's finalized, we'll have a set routine of maybe specific days that I plan on having this talk. It's not going to be a long talk. It's not going to be something that's too formal, but just an opportunity to obviously get photographers out there. Stay tuned. I do have some awesome photographers lined up. I'm just going to mention two quickly because obviously we finalized it with them as well. I'm going to be interviewing and having a discussion with Gret next. Gret Rozak. She's actually an amazing fashion photographer that's based out there in Cape Town, I think it is. It's Cape Town, and she's doing some really amazing work. She's got some really amazing work that we're going to be talking about, and shortly after that, we're also going to be speaking to Kenlan Dinepi Sanderson. So he's actually wedding photographer that's based out in Johannesburg. So we're going to get him on the show also soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you actually follow the Godox SA page, and keep a link to all of the lives that we're going to be having. Okay, so guys, so thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it and wish you all the best. Stay tuned.